Ever dreamed of a garden so abundant it feels like magic? Stick around because today we'll share 20 genius tips that will make you a gardening pro in no time. We're talking bigger yields, healthier plants, and maybe even learning how to talk to your leafy friends. Okay, maybe not that last one, but it'll feel like it. If you want to learn something from this video, don't drag it and watch it from the beginning to the end. Seriously, scrubbing through this thing will be about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. We're diving deep into the nitty-gritty of each tip, so buckle up, grab your gardening gloves, and let's get our hands dirty. Let's dive in and grow together. Alright, rookie gardeners, let's be real for a sec. Don't go full-on green acres and try to cultivate a whole farm on your first try. Start with a few easy-to-grow plants like herbs or lettuce. They're super forgiving and you'll get that awesome feeling of accomplishment. Think of it like this. You wouldn't try to run a marathon without learning to walk first, right? Same goes for gardening. Mastering the basics with a few starter plants will give you the confidence and experience to level up your gardening game in no time. So, what are these magical, beginner-friendly plants? Well, herbs like basil, mint, and cilantro are practically begging to be grown. And lettuce? Forget those sad, wilted grocery store bags. You'll be swimming in fresh, crispy lettuce varieties. Choosing the right spot for your little green protégés is key. Look for an area that gets at least 6 hours of sunlight a day. And while you're at it, make sure the soil is well drained. Nobody likes soggy roots, not even plants. Follow the instructions on the seed packet like it's the gospel of gardening. Spacing is crucial, people. Once your little seedlings are in the ground, it's all about TLC. Water them regularly, but don't go overboard and drown them. And keep an eye out for any pesky weeds trying to crash the party. Those guys are bad news and will steal all the nutrients from your precious plants. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a thriving garden. Start small, learn the ropes, and soon you'll be the envy of the neighborhood with your green thumb prowess. Alright, garden gurus in the making, let's talk tools. Because let's be real, you wouldn't show up to a construction site with just a spoon and a dream, would you? Gardening is no different. First up, the heavy hitters, shovels and spades. These are your trusty sidekicks for digging, turning soil, and generally making your garden dreams a reality. A sturdy, round-point shovel is perfect for digging holes and moving dirt, while a flat-edged spade is ideal for edging, transplanting, and leveling soil. Next on the list, the humble hand trowel. Think of it as the Robin to your Batman shovel. And let's not forget about pruning shears. These bad boys are essential for keeping your plants in check and preventing them from turning into a wild, unruly jungle. Now let's talk watering. A good watering can or garden hose is non-negotiable. But here's a pro tip. Invest in a watering wand for those hard-to-reach spots and delicate plants. Every gardening superhero needs a trusty pair of gloves to protect those precious hands from dirt, thorns, and the occasional creepy crawly. And don't underestimate the power of a garden kneeler or stool. Your knees will thank you, especially after a long day of tending to your green babies. You don't need to drop a fortune on fancy top-of-the-line gear. Start with the basics, and gradually add to your arsenal as your gardening skills and budget grow. Garage sales, thrift stores, and even your grandparents' attic can be treasure troves for gently used gardening tools. Remember, the right tools will make your gardening journey smoother, more efficient, and way more enjoyable. So gear up, get ready to conquer the gardening world, and stay tuned for the next chapter where we'll unlock the secrets of the soil. Get ready to geek out. Alright, fellow dirt diggers, let's get down and dirty with the foundation of any thriving garden, the soil. Soil is a living, breathing ecosystem teeming with microscopic organisms. Get your hands in there, feel the texture, and give it a good sniff. Is it clumpy and clay-like, loose and sandy, or somewhere in between? Most plants prefer a slightly acidic to neutral pH. Adding compost or aged manure provides essential nutrients. Healthy soil equals healthy plants equals a bountiful harvest. Alright, green thumbs, let's talk about watering. I know it can be a bit of a snooze fest, but trust me, this is important. Watering your plants seems simple, right? Just grab a hose and give them a good soak? Not so fast. There's a fine line between refreshing and drowning your plants. More water doesn't mean happier plants. Overwatering can suffocate roots. It makes them more susceptible to diseases and pests. So, how much water do your plants need? It depends on plant type, weather, and soil. Water deeply and less frequently. Deep watering encourages deeper roots. Water in the early morning. It allows plants to absorb moisture before evaporation. Evening watering can lead to fungal diseases. Use the finger test to check soil moisture. If it feels dry, water. If moist, hold off. container plants dry out faster, so water them more frequently. Water until it drains out of the holes. Mastering watering is crucial for a thriving garden. Stay tuned for the next chapter on sunlight. Alright, sun worshippers and shade lovers, let's talk about everyone's favorite celestial body, the sun. The sun is like the fuel that powers your plant's growth engine. Some plants are like sunbathers, soaking up as much sunlight as they can get. Others are more like vampires, preferring to stay in the shade. Most vegetables and fruiting plants need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day to thrive. So when choosing a spot for your garden, make sure it gets plenty of direct sunlight throughout the day. Stay tuned for the next chapter where we'll explore the wonderful world of maximizing small spaces with vertical gardening. Alright, urban gardeners and balcony farmers, this one's for you. Just because you don't have acres of sprawling farmland doesn't mean you can't have a thriving garden. It's time to embrace the power of vertical gardening. Think of it like turning your garden into a high-rise building, maximizing every square inch of space. Vertical gardening is like the ultimate space-saving hack for gardeners with limited space. It's like turning your walls, fences, and even your balcony railings into vertical gardens, bursting with fresh produce. So how do you turn your garden into a vertical oasis? Well, the possibilities are endless. One popular method is using trellises. These vertical structures provide support for climbing plants like cucumbers, beans, and tomatoes to grow upwards instead of sprawling out on the ground. Another great option is using hanging planters. These versatile containers can be hung from walls, fences, or even your balcony railing, creating a cascade of greenery and fresh produce. But vertical gardening isn't just about aesthetics, it also has practical benefits. By growing upwards, you're improving air circulation around your plants, reducing the risk of fungal diseases. Plus, vertical gardens can help shade the ground below, keeping your plants cooler and reducing water evaporation. And the best part? Vertical gardening doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. You can easily create your own vertical garden structures using recycled materials like pallets, old ladders, or even gutters. So, embrace your inner vertical gardener. Think outside the traditional garden bed and watch your garden reach new heights. Stay tuned for the next chapter where we'll explore the world of container gardening. Alright, apartment dwellers and patio enthusiasts, this one's for you. Embrace the wonderful world of container gardening. Grow anything from herbs to dwarf fruit trees. Choose the right size, material, and ensure good drainage. Stay tuned for the next chapter where we'll create a self-watering pot using everyday items. Alright, fellow DIY enthusiasts and budget-conscious gardeners, get ready to unleash your inner MacGyver, because today, we're crafting a self-watering pot using everyday items. That's right, we're ditching the expensive, store-bought contraptions and embracing the power of ingenuity. First, gather your materials. You'll need a large plastic bottle, a 2-liter soda bottle works great, a smaller plastic bottle, a water bottle will do, some cotton rope or strips of old t-shirt, and a sharp knife or scissors. Cut the top off the large plastic bottle, about 6 to 8 inches from the top. Then, carefully cut a small hole in the center of the bottle cap, just large enough to thread your cotton rope or fabric strips through. Next, take your smaller plastic bottle and cut off the bottom, about 4 to 5 inches from the bottom. This will serve as your water reservoir. Now, thread your cotton rope or fabric strips through the hole in the large bottle cap, leaving about 2 to 3 inches hanging out the top and the rest dangling down into the bottle. Fill the large bottle with potting mix, leaving about an inch of space at the top. Carefully insert the smaller bottle upside down into the center of the large bottle, making sure the cotton rope or fabric strips are submerged in the water reservoir. As the potting mix dries out, the cotton rope or fabric strips will draw water up from the reservoir, keeping your plants hydrated. Now you can sit back, relax, and let your self-watering pot do its thing. Your plants will be happy, your wallet will be happy, and you'll have more time to tackle other gardening projects. Alright, plant parents and apartment dwellers, let's bring the outdoors in and transform your home into a lush green oasis with the magic of indoor gardening. Who says you need a backyard to experience the joy of nurturing plants and adding a touch of nature to your living space? Indoor gardening is like having a little piece of the great outdoors right inside your home. It's a great way to purify the air, boost your mood, and add a touch of life and vibrancy to your surroundings. But with so many different houseplants to choose from, where do you even begin? Start with easy care varieties like the snake plant and ZZ plant. They thrive in low light and need infrequent watering. Most indoor plants prefer bright, indirect light. Avoid direct sunlight to prevent scorching. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry. Overwatering can lead to root rot. Embrace your inner plant parent and create a green oasis that brings joy and tranquility to your home. Stay tuned for the next chapter where we'll explore the benefits of joining a community garden. Get ready to geek out. Alright, green thumbs and social butterflies, let's talk about the joys and benefits of joining a community garden. Because gardening doesn't have to be a solitary pursuit. Community gardens are like the social hubs of the gardening world, bringing people together from all walks of life to connect, learn, and grow, literally. They're places where you can share gardening tips, swap seeds and plants, and learn from experienced gardeners in your community. But community gardens are more than just places to grow food. They're also places to grow friendships, build community, and make a difference. They provide opportunities for people to...
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here because we're about to dig deep into some next-level gardening tips and tricks. Have you ever dreamed of stepping into your backyard and harvesting a bounty of delicious organic fruits and veggies? Well, that dream can be your reality. We're talking about composting like pros, naturally kicking pests to the curb, and so much more. So grab your gardening gloves and let's get our hands dirty. It's time to turn your garden into the envy of the neighborhood. Y'all, compost is like magic for your garden. It's nature's own fertilizer and soil conditioner, and the best part? You can easily make it at home. Instead of throwing away kitchen scraps and yard waste, we're going to give them a new life as nutrient-rich compost. Start with a simple compost bin. You can buy one or build your own. Then start layering those brown materials like dried leaves, straw, or shredded paper with green materials like vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and grass clippings. Aim for a 50-50 mix like you're baking a cake for your garden. Now, here's the secret ingredient: air. Turn the compost pile every week or so with a pitchfork to give those helpful microbes some breathing room. They're the real heroes, breaking down the materials and turning them into that beautiful, crumbly compost. You'll know your compost is ready when it has a rich, earthy smell and looks like dark, crumbly soil. Add it to your garden beds and watch your plants thrive. Now, let's talk about those pesky critters who think our gardens are their personal buffets. We're going to evict them the natural way, without resorting to harsh chemicals. One of my favorite methods is companion planting. It's like creating a neighborhood watch for your garden. For example, planting marigolds alongside your tomatoes can help deter those pesky whiteflies. And basil? It's a superhero against aphids and mosquitoes. Another trick up my sleeve is using organic pest sprays. You can whip up a batch at home with ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. A simple mix of water and dish soap can work wonders against soft-bodied insects. By creating a healthy ecosystem in your garden, you'll invite beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings who will take care of the bad guys for you. Enjoy your harvest knowing it's free from harmful chemicals. All right, friends, let's talk about mulch. It's like a cozy blanket for your garden beds, and it comes with some amazing benefits. First off, mulch helps to retain moisture in the soil, which means you won't have to water as often. Plus, it helps to regulate soil temperature, keeping those roots nice and cool during hot summer days. But wait, there's more. Mulch also acts as a natural weed barrier, preventing those pesky invaders from taking root in your garden. Less weeding means more time to relax and enjoy the fruits of your labor. There are so many different types of mulch to choose from, like shredded bark, straw, or even compost. Experiment and see what works best for your garden. Trust me, once you experience the magic of mulch, you'll wonder how you ever gardened without it. Chapter 4. Crop Rotation Basics. Keeping your soil happy and healthy. You know how much I love a good design plan, and the same goes for our gardens. That's where crop rotation comes in. It's like musical chairs for your veggies, and it's essential for healthy soil and bountiful harvests. Think about it. Different plants have different appetites. Some are heavy feeders, gobbling up nutrients like nobody's business, while others are more laid back. By rotating your crops each year, you're preventing those heavy feeders from depleting the soil of essential nutrients. Here's a simple rotation plan to get you started. Divide your garden into 4 sections. One year, plant heavy feeders like tomatoes and corn in one section. The next year, plant legumes like beans or peas in that same section. Legumes are like little nitrogen factories, adding this essential nutrient back into the soil. The following year, plant root crops like carrots and potatoes in that section. And finally, leafy greens like lettuce and spinach. This rotation helps to interrupt pest and disease cycles, ensuring that your garden stays healthy year after year. Chapter 5. Seasonal Planting Guide, From Winter Greens to Summer Bounty. Now, let's talk about what to plant when. Knowing your region's growing season is key to gardening success. Here in Texas, we have a long growing season, but it's still important to plant at the right time to give your crops the best chance of thriving. In the cooler months, you can't go wrong with hardy greens like kale, spinach, and lettuce. They actually prefer cooler temperatures and can even withstand a light frost. As the weather warms up, it's time to plant those warm season crops like tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. These sun-loving veggies need plenty of heat and sunshine to produce their juicy fruits. And for those hot summer months, consider planting heat-tolerant varieties like okra, southern peas, and sweet potatoes. Consult your local extension office or nursery for specific planting dates in your area. Chapter 6. Pruning like a pro shaping up for a bountiful harvest. Pruning might seem intimidating, but trust me, it's like giving your plants a much-needed haircut. It encourages healthy growth and can lead to bigger and better harvests. First things first, always use sharp, clean pruning shears to prevent damaging your plants. And when it comes to timing, it depends on the plant. For example, you'll want to prune your roses in late winter or early spring, while your tomato plants will benefit from regular pruning throughout the growing season. Don't be afraid to remove any dead, diseased, or damaged branches. You can also prune to shape your plants and keep them from getting too unruly. By removing unwanted growth, you're allowing your plants to focus their energy on producing those beautiful fruits, vegetables, and flowers. Chapter 7. Fertilizer Facts. Feeding your garden the right way. Just like we need nutritious food to thrive, so do our plants. Fertilizer provides them with the essential nutrients they need to grow strong and healthy. Now, when it comes to fertilizer, you have two main choices: organic or synthetic. Organic fertilizers are derived from natural sources like compost or manure, while synthetic fertilizers are manufactured. Both types can be effective, but I'm partial to organic fertilizers. They release nutrients slowly into the soil, which is better for your plants and the environment. Plus, they help to improve soil structure and increase beneficial microbial activity. Over-fertilizing can actually harm your plants. Chapter 8. Smart irrigation, watering wisely for a thriving garden. Water is essential for life, and that includes our gardens. But overwatering can be just as harmful as underwatering. That's why it's important to water wisely. One of my favorite methods is drip irrigation. It delivers water directly to the roots of your plants, where it's needed most, minimizing evaporation and runoff. Plus, it helps to prevent soil erosion and can even reduce weed growth. Another tip is to water deeply and less often. This encourages your plants to develop deep roots, making them more drought tolerant. And always water early in the morning or late in the evening when temperatures are cooler. Chapter 9. Harvest Timing, Picking Produce at its Peak of Flavor. There's nothing quite like the taste of fresh, homegrown produce. But did you know that harvesting your fruits and vegetables at the right time can make a huge difference in their flavor? For example, tomatoes are best picked when they're fully ripe and have a deep, rich color. Cucumbers, on the other hand, should be picked when they're still firm and have a bright green color. And don't forget about those herbs. Harvest them in the morning after the dew has dried for the best flavor. With a little practice, you'll become a pro at knowing when to harvest your produce for maximum flavor. Chapter 10. Record Keeping Your Garden Journal for Continuous Improvement. Y'all, I'm a big believer in learning from our experiences, and gardening is no exception. That's why I encourage you to keep a garden journal. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. A simple notebook will do. Jot down what you planted, when you planted it, and any challenges or successes you encountered. This valuable information will help you make better decisions next season. Think of your garden journal as a living document that evolves with your gardening journey. Well, folks, that's a wrap. We've covered a lot of ground today, from composting to companion planting to the magic of mulch. You're now armed with the knowledge and tools you need to take your gardening game to the next level. Remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. There's always something new to learn, and even seasoned gardeners make mistakes. The important thing is to never give up, keep experimenting, and most importantly, have fun. Now, go out there and grow something amazing. Which tip will you try first? Comment below. And remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss an update.